of 32.
It's my turn now.
2019 Mountain Dew GSL Season 2. Codex. Renaissance.
Tasteless, I'm starting to find arbitrary patterns. So far, on both days, the first person out was the person in the really bad-looking jacket. Armani in his weird turquoise jacket, and Zest in that weird greenish jacket with like lions on it. Or tigers or whatever the hell that was, dragons, I don't know.
Some kind of, yeah, feline, something. Well, that's definitely why, for sure.
Well,
They lost.
I don't know yet. We'll see We'll see tomorrow. We have another day. We can test this.
I know.
We can get a full sample size and just see it. This is
called
like a real
science.
thing.
In a very interesting twist tonight, Trust is actually the player that's in our final match. Zest is already out of the GSL Codex. He's the third player eliminated. Now we're here to decide who is the fourth player to advance now to the round of 16, and the fourth player to get knocked out and have to wait until the next season of the GSL Codex. Our game one between these two and our fifth best of three is going to be on Kairos Junction.
Yeah,
go ahead, Artos.
Important to note, Trust vetoed King's Cove. That's where GuMiho goes Banshee Mech.
That's right. All right, game one's ready. Let's go.
Storm Gaming. GuMiho. Team Revolution. Trust.
Well, already Trust has taken down GuMiho today. I don't think that necessarily means that it will occur again.
Yeah, I think that might catch a lot of the people that are just now tuning in off guard here, where it's like, wow, yeah, Trust actually beat GuMiho. By the way, this is GuMiho's 21st GSL Codex. That's more than any other player.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Which is just an insane stat by itself. But the fact that he might get knocked out of the round of 32 here after having so much success, and frankly, I feel like, oh my God.
You won't get it.
SCV running now. Yeah, the fact that he might not get out here is kind of crazy. It goes to show you just how high the competition is in GSL this year.
Yeah, it's really cool. Korean players are playing very well recently. I'm super excited for when we get the, like GSL versus the World, for instance. I guess we did have Katowice. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of them are practicing very hard at the moment, making these upsets occur. Now, I'm just wondering what GuMiho will end up bringing. Both games Trust did the same thing in the first series.
Yeah, that was this Stalker Rush where you get an observer, you have just enough vision over the high ground, and you pop in, kill the tank, try to kill everything you have. And it's funny because it seems like it shouldn't work, right? The Terran's walled in. The Terran is manufacturing a pretty sophisticated unit composition, but they seem to just have not enough of each unit set that the Stalkers can actually blast everything down, which is unusual. Normally, Stalkers are not things that bludgeon their way into victory. You normally win by sniping stuff and with good control, but it seems like Trust has a pretty good grasp, at least with that style of play, how to get in, do the damage, and then get out if he needs to. Also, in one of the games, I think it was game one actually, he blinked in and then sniped the tech lab that was upgrading Stim, and without Stim, there's really no way for Terran to win any fights on the map at all.
Yeah, and GuMiho even got himself into a decent position that game, but took a really poor fight and then ended up losing a base trade. But look, so far he's actually doing exactly the same build, the 3 Adept Pressure into Twilight. He's got the 3 gates right now, starting his Stalker production as well. This is a really cool build, actually. I'm going to try this one out.
Yeah, and it seems to be unique, at least so far, in that just he's doing the build.
Yeah.
And the fact that it worked twice maybe it will work a third time. Maybe GuMiho doesn't really have a good grasp on how to deal with this.
I do want to specifically point out that GuMiho has been going for 3 Marines before Reactor, which is actually reducing his overall count in the mid game somewhat significantly, right? It's safe against certain things, but yeah, it's just something you got to think about as well.
Okay, the Cyclones come in here now. Now, last time he let the Adepts shade in. This time he's going to keep them back. Whoa, 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 whoa.
He locked on, and then it went around the side. He would have had, well, I guess he got it anyway, but never mind. I got excited there.
Blink is about halfway done. I like what you were pointing out, Artos, is that you know, he gets the 3 Marines early on, and that does slow down the overall amount that he's going to have later. And that might be, I don't know if this is something where Trust, before the game even starts, he knows he's going to come in and attack at that moment, or if he's evaluating what units that GuMiho has early on and then says, okay, if I understand the math correctly, I can actually come in here because I see, for instance, he's getting a couple Marines like that early on, and that slows everything down, that he can then come in there for a punish later on.
I'm almost certain that he's just doing it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I really think I don't think it's that calculated where the entire build is shifting on that.
Because all other builds we've had where they go for Stalkers right away, they're usually getting ready to try to absorb an attack and shoot down like a Medevac or a Banshee, and then they try to reorganize and come out. But yeah, this is one where like Blink's done and he just marches across the map and starts swinging punches. Mm-hmm. Here we go. It's happening again.
Yeah, he's walking across and not really leaving anything for this Banshee.
It's funny because, oh, here we go.
Okay, he actually does the recall, so he sees the Banshee coming in. He's not playing that
game.
That's a great kill. Wow.
Yeah, beautifully done. So what does he do now? Does he just want to try to beeline across the map again? I guess so.
Yeah, I think you got to go over there and at least put pressure on. I guess you're probably missing that initial timing that we've been seeing.
Also, he's got Marines next to the tank now, so maybe this doesn't go as well as he wants. I mean, you can't just... Well, hold on. I guess we're going to find out.
Well, he lost the first observer, so now he has to wait for the second one as well. But at least it's not that crazy observer from the supply block game.
Oh, my God. He's so close.
Oh,
okay.
That volley, I feel like I would cancel at this point. You're already missing shields on a bunch of them.
He's trying to rotate down here. Notice that the stim is being made way deep in the main.
Yes!
Already he's actually reacted correctly, making some micro adjustments from the mistakes he made early on.
Yeah. That is such a big deal. It's such a big deal. I'm so happy to see GuMiho fix that immediately.
And that's a sign of a very good player to make adjustments like that. Because yeah, I mean, if you're hold on. Now I wonder, can GuMiho simply move out?
There's 5 more gates about to finish, so he's going to be on 8-gate charge lot coming up here. He's doing, I mean, this is some pretty reasonable micro that he's doing so far against this. The observer wasn't that important.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, that a little bit sloppy for a moment. Oh, he actually saves both of them. Wow.
Yeah. Concussive shells is almost done.
He's going to have a lot of charge lots. The thing is, this area is a little bit tricky. They can siege up the tank behind those rocks. It's hard to hit. You have to come around, but it's a good amount of units here for Trust.
Okay, the Immortal's in the mix as well. A good blink in, but a lot of these Stalkers are being shot down.
Yeah, that was a pretty big sacrifice, but the Guardian Shield was on those Zealots for most of the fight. Now the Immortal's still alive here in the back, and GuMiho has to turn tail and run.
Doesn't look like he wants to pick up and try to go into the main or anything like that. And yeah, absolutely, Protoss had enough. Stalkers are going to come around here and maybe try to snipe the Medevac. I guess not. They blink away. GuMiho is taking a base down at the 6 o'clock location. And we might even see Trust expand again here. I think he's actually doing fine. Yes. In fact, he is going to do that. He's going to try to expand over here towards the 12 o'clock spot.
When you take a 3rd base and your opponent does a 2-base attack on you, and you hold the 2-base attack, and then they take a 3rd base, you are ahead.
Yeah.
Like that's, I think that you have to consider that to be ahead for the player who already has the 3rd base up, right? He hasn't taken any economic damage, not that GuMiho has, so it's not like this is some gigantic difference, but like this does not seem ideal for GuMiho in any way. Look at this set of pylons, that is beautiful.
Yeah,
I really like how
smart.
Trust is playing tonight. I really do.
He's really just making absolutely sure that if he gets a lead, he's not going to get surprised with some kind of a drop like that. Now GuMiho combs through the map and now takes out these spotter pylons. So, you know, he's going to have to remake those if he wants to keep getting vision of that area. But I think the idea is there. He's playing very safe, very conservatively. He says, if I've already won 2 games against GuMiho, I don't see why I can't win 2 more. Of course, GuMiho has made the adjustments to not suffer too much early on. So I guess now we really get to see how strong is Trust in a more even late game here, because GuMiho is one of the very best in the entire world at games like this.
Okay, let's see what he does. He has actually, this is a good area for him overall. Ooh, Trust is not engaging this very quickly. He's trying to wait for Psystorm, I guess. But a lot of Zealots are being shaved off. I feel like you might want to throw down a couple force fields, just slow this or something.
Okay, force fields coming down, a good pickup. He had a very scary army. If GuMiho can control this well enough, there's a chance that slowly the army is whittled down. Now he's got...
he is abusing that tall grass so hard. There's no vision for that. Now this Prism's coming over, so maybe he can actually get it done. All right, dropping out High Templar. He needs those storms.
Wow, really good storm there. 2 of them. Uh-oh, that Immortal is going to be gunned down. Oh, no, wow, he picks it up at the last second, but the second Immortal is picked off.
Yeah, the army's getting very small right now, though, for Trust. He doesn't have most of his technical units.
Oh, my God, he lost the second Immortal. Okay, I think this is a game of tug-of-war that Trust actually ultimately loses. GuMiho's control is just too good. It's 130 supply to 82. Yeah, GuMiho just won the game, I think. He just has enough. GG. GuMiho wins game 1. And the comeback is real, Artosis.
I think that Trust got himself into an okay spot there and played a little bit passively. He had a unit comp where you actually want to take fights in kind of more open areas, like run out and actually get them. But he like waited behind that tall grass. He lost so many Zealots before the actual engagement that was very painful. Obviously, we saw GuMiho get his mines all burrowed and into a reasonable position as well. I think he just kind of messed up against that last attack, because after he held the first one, it felt like a good spot for him, in my opinion.
Man. Trust, again, coming with the same opener that won when these guys first played early on today. He tried again this time around. GuMiho had made all the proper adjustments to not miss a beat in those games. And now we got to ask ourselves, is Trust going to try to do the same thing again? Is it time for Trust to mix it up? Is this whole day between these two players ultimately going to be a story of Trust coming in here with something strong, but not being dynamic or diverse enough strategically and technically to adapt, where GuMiho is seeing what's coming at him? He turns a few dials, shifts a few gears, and he's ready to go.
Psystorm Gaming, GuMiho.
Yeah, it's really important what you just said. Like right now, Trust looks like a ladder hero. You know?
Yeah.
One of these guys where it's like, damn, he's good. But there's something missing for tournament play.
You're right.
Team Revolution, Trust.
That would be a second build order, because he really has been doing almost exactly the same thing. Like, the opening is exactly the same, and, you know, he's a little bit flexible with how he transitions out of it.
Yeah.
Or it's not a transition, it's how he continues it. He's a little bit flexible based on what's occurred. So that's good, and the build seems actually very good. I think this is a strong strategy, a strong build order that he has in his pocket here.
This could be a story of tournament hero versus ladder scumbag. You know, the guy that just has one build that he's doing over and over and over again. Great, that's cool, but you know, GuMiho is a living, breathing, adaptive player strategically, and I don't know. Let's wait and find out what Trust does, because it seems like over and over and over again. GuMiho, if you put these two guys together and they're doing the same thing, or at least Trust is opening in the same manner, then yeah, I would imagine that GuMiho starts to win more and more games.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that assessment, because the first 2-0, even though, like, the first game is the one that he played the best. He played it really, really well. Trusted, and just kind of nailed the build and did a ton of damage and ended up fine. And the thing is, GuMiho even fought well there. And then the second game, he kind of bungled everything, but still ended up taking the victory. Now, the third time that they played, I thought he was in decent shape, but GuMiho, you know, was flexible. He used the map very well and used his great micro and everything and kept the pressure on, did not give up. This is different, though. Okay, so Trust is going to mix it up now. Stalker first. He's been going for 3 Adept Pressure, because it does one-shot SCVs and Marines and all that. But Stalker into Sentry, so definitely a very different opener here. You can definitely still go Twilight, though. Sometimes, yeah.
There it is, Twilight coming down now.
Sometimes what you can do with this is you can scout with Hallucination, and then you can just use Hallucination to get your Blink Stalkers in quicker. Right?
Do you think that it's going to be unwise for Trust here to try to go for a more conservative game? Is it better if he tries to do something crazy, something all-in, something very time-specific versus reactionary play? Because I do feel like GuMiho, from everything I've seen with these two guys, GuMiho is supposed to be way better at a game like that, at a game where you're trying to get reads and react and let the game unpack itself into late game. Yeah,
well, I think that this is actually going to be an aggressive build. Not necessarily, like, we can't say that for certain yet. Right now, looking at it, it's like, yeah, it seems like a good build. This is a build anyone would use on the ladder. Let's check it out, though. See how many gates he ends up adding and how aggressive he gets, because it's 3 gates pretty quickly. Okay, he's going into Robo, so, I mean, this could turn into a more reactive game. But I don't mind him getting aggressive if that's what he wants to do, because I think GuMiho sometimes is so technical on his builds that you can just bludgeon him.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if Patience plays him, I'm like, yeah, Patience can take this guy down.
No, I really like what you're pointing out, is that what he's doing and how he's doing it is so complicated and sophisticated and can put him in such a tremendous lead later on. But yeah, I mean, if you just play in a very specific way and try to just get in there and bloody his nose early on, yeah, absolutely, you can just mess him up. And I think you're right when you said Patience. Exactly, a player like that could come in here and just kill you, just decapitate you.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Okay, so he's going, wow, look at that. Directly into Robo in the double Forge.
By the way, we're going to have a push coming from Terran pretty soon here.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit nervous, yeah, because it's much more on the greedy side here from Trust. That doesn't mean it can't work.
Just to clarify, everybody, when you see 2 Forges, you're and at third base as well. Well, I guess you have to get to third base. You're going to get 2 Forges. You never have like 2 bases and 2 Forges. But if you have 3 bases and 2 Forges, you're saying that I really, really, really am investing in a long, late game. And that's great unless you get attacked while you're still trying to get to that late game situation. And everything that GuMiho is doing right now tells us that he's going to be pushing pretty soon.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was like safety into greed against a more mid-game push, right? Like you went 3 gates, the Robo, then the Nexus, and then the more gates and the Forges on this, right? So
yeah,
it's like what I see here is his upgrades. Like he'll have charge, but the extra gates are going to be a little bit late. You know, his 1-1 will not be done when GuMiho hits. And that makes me scared for him.
Stim is about to finish up. Right now it's a series of Tier 1 units for Trust. You know, Zealot Legs, it should be done by the time the push happens, but I don't know if that alone is going to cut it. GuMiho is absolutely ready to activate himself on the map. Combat Shields is finishing. Note how he has the army split into 2 chunks. There's an initial chunk that's coming out here. There was one that was kept back in case of a War Prism flying in. There is no War Prism flying in, though. And the second half of the army is going to merge up with this. And this is going to be GuMiho flexing his muscle. And I don't know that Trust can survive this. Now, occasionally we have it where just barely the rest of like the gates and the upgrades finish and you manage to hold on. But here we go now, sieging up already immediately, and Widowmine's coming down.
And his 1-1 is about to finish. So that is going to help a hell of a lot. Okay, setting up these Widowmines in a pretty good spot. Oh, those Force Fields actually do terribly for Trust.
Yeah, the units were able to wiggle through. The Zealots are all very badly damaged.
All of these force fields, actually, I feel like have been for GuMiho.
Oh my God, here we go. A
man.
huge drop inside the main, and there's nothing to defend.
Yeah, that's quite a few
Oh
Widow
my
Mines
God,
going
this
up.
pylon.
These Warpins not going to do a single thing.
Yeah. Okay, he actually pulls away.
I'm so stupid.
It's okay. Well, I got to say, I'm impressed that GuMiho pulled away. I think that's a sign of what a good player he is. He says, you know what? I'm not 100% sure I'm going to win this. Let me back up.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he realized really quickly that he didn't do enough damage right away. The third base has been up for that long. He probably saw 1-1 is done. He said, you know what? Better I back off and fight another day. And that's a very good decision-making from GuMiho. We've seen a lot of Terrans that absolutely would have doubled down and just ran right into the Protoss, gotten behind, and lost in a longer game. But this time around, I think GuMiho is setting himself up very safely to kind of maintain his status in this game and really make Trust work harder, I think, in an area of the game that Trust is probably not as much of an expert at as GuMiho is.
You know, he does have a lot of production right now. He has a gigantic army supply as well. So, moving back out. Quite a few Widow Mines mixed into this army. Oh my, GuMiho coming right up. This fourth base not going to be able to be taken. It is still a pretty scary army here for Trust, though.
Keep in mind that he can get a good position here, and if he doesn't like it or he wants to back up, he can pick everything up and go into the main, which might be coming here. This is a very unique position to be attacking from on this map in this matchup. And so it looks like he wants to edge in. He can also get his siege tanks on the low ground and still fire up onto the high ground with a pickup here. And sometimes you can win a game without killing expansions, but instead killing the main. For now, though, he wants to try to fish a lot of this army in and start to eat Widow Mine shots and siege tank shots.
Yeah, he's whittling down the Zealots quite a bit with this. I feel like overall the force fields I've been seeing in this particular game from Trust, they remind me of old like Wings of Liberty force fields where it's like, just don't force field. You know, a lot of these are actually just blocking your Zealots from getting there.
Yeah, it's like you're casting the spell because you're used to casting the spell.
Yeah, for the sake of casting it.
By the way, GuMiho is doing such a great job of being conservative here. He once again says, you know what? I'm not 100% sure. Let's relocate. Let's keep the Protoss walking. Let's keep the Protoss honest. He comes in here now.
He's really trying so hard to just play better than Trust here.
Oh, God, he's going to get the Nexus, and Protoss doesn't come in here right now and save this.
Oh, my God, these mines are just crazy right now.
Wow.
Oh, the Psystorm's coming out, though, and with 4 Immortals in there, the Psystorms did a lot to weaken up this army.
Blink to the right. These Immortals need to gun down these tanks, but there's no Warp Prism here. In fact, I'm sorry, there's like no Terran army underneath this.
No.
And with very impressive play, Trust actually holds off that push. A really technical and patient push there from GuMiho, but ultimately Trust powers through.
He saves almost all of the medevacs, so that's really good. The tanks go down. I don't think that GuMiho cares about that. The mines definitely did their job, and GuMiho's macro continues forward. I actually want to see exactly where our upgrades are at. Oh, God. He, like, did all of that on 1-1. So now he's fighting against a 2 upgrade advantage from Trust, and Trust is getting into some Psystorm, but Ghosts are coming out. He's getting personal cloaking for them. Still definitely stuff to play with here for GuMiho, but whenever I see this type of upgrade advantage and where, like, for instance, 3-3 will be done before 2-2 is done, that is a scary place for a Terran.
I gotta say, guys, the Trust we're seeing is a new Trust. I mean, he's really holding his own here. The practice, the hard work is paying off. The question is, can he win this game against GuMiho? I mean, right now, Maru's out of the GSL. GuMiho might be the best Terran we have in this tournament so far, you know? And that's not even...
For innovation.
Yeah, innovation as well. But, I mean, you know, the point I'm trying to make is that this is one of the very best Terrans in the entire world. Hold on. Widow Mine's coming through now. He's going to drop over here. The Warp Prism does remain alive.
Yeah, that's
and I don't think that Trust sees this.
Wow, really good right there. Will finally pick off that Prism, but the Prism actually did a really good job as well. Now Trust does have to back up. Trust's army is not super technical right now. It's like Zealots and Stalkers and an Immortal. That's not really what you're looking for.
Oh my God, why is he not pulling away? He's warping it over there.
He's got this. Or not. Oh, just barely.
That was an awkward fight to watch. Okay, he's gonna come up here again. Good EMP.
Those Immortals are going to be one of the prime targets as well. Where are... Okay, there's the Prism with the high temp bar.
Ooh, good EMPs.
He's got the 2 Vikings to try to really put pressure on that.
God.
Oh, actually only 3 of the 4 get out. Some great size storms go down, though.
Does Protoss pull through again? Again, these storms melting the ghosts.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Trust is a murderer.
Just
oh, my God. He just owned everything.
Smashing through. Look at that. He's still got 4 Immortals left over.
Oh, my
His army
God.
is looking so strong. And now he is up 3 upgrades, soon to be 4.
Wow.
This is where attack move becomes pretty good.
Yeah, he's going to run over GuMiho here. I think we're going to go to game 3.
Yeah, it really looks that way.
I see he's going to come in here now and attack, and it looks like he's going to be able to take out this base down here at the bottom. I don't think there's anything that Terran can really do to stop this.
Yeah, the upgrades are pretty brutal
The
right
Protoss
now.
army is just way stronger no matter how you cut it. This is no longer about control. This is about the direction these guys took the game in, and how the Protoss now has such a tremendous lead. It's pretty much impossible for a Terran to recover from here, especially now that that base is taken out. You have Dominion over the high ground where this other base is mining at. The fact that it's a planetary is no longer even a factor, really.
There's nothing left over here.
Yep.
5 Immortals going to clean up. And
GG.
Okay. That was an interesting game. The initial push from GuMiho that was hitting the 411, I thought it was interesting how he did that, and then he did the drop of the main that seemed like it would be good against minimal warpins, but then an Immortal came up, but he pulled back, which you were really praising. I think it was good because I think he was about to get run over. But I thought he was going to do a little bit more with that. But then he did start to play very well, but then suddenly it's like, oh, I mean, you didn't kill him and you're 1-1 against 2-2. It becomes a very uphill battle. So how will GuMiho play this next one? He's been very aggressive on the 2 bases. We've seen a lot of the 3 racks pushes with some mines and tanks into 5 racks and 3rd CC. So we've seen that a lot out of GuMiho. It hasn't really been working that much against Trust overall. He's just kind of weathered it and gotten his economy flowing and gotten his upgrades going. I think I want to see something else out of GuMiho.
Game 3 is ready. Either GuMiho or Trust survives to the round of 16 in tonight's GSL Code S. Let's go.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Storm Gaming, GuMiho. Team Revolution, Trust.
So far, I mean, we're only in day 2 of GSL. This is Group B. So far, we've had a lot of upsets. A lot of players not advancing that we really thought were going to advance. I mean, the landscape here in Season 2 is massively different than I think what a lot of people expected to see. I know we're still early on here, but Maru's already out of the GSL. The 4th time in a row GSL Code S champion is gone. He was a 2nd player eliminated this season. He's not going to be in the round of 16. Now we might see Trust, someone who, to be honest, I don't think I'm alone in this. I thought most certainly was going to be knocked out in the round of 32. He might end up beating GuMiho, one of the best, most complex, sophisticated modern Terrans that there is in StarCraft 2.
And Zest is already out, who, you know, is always one of the best Protoss in the world. You know, there's like not a moment where he's not top 5. And
oh, he built on the Terran's gas.
That's interesting.
That is, yeah. Very interesting. Let's see what he's got in store here. By the way, Trust won that last game in a macro game, Artosis. He was playing an honest, drawn-out PvT, and GuMiho could not keep up. And it was actually Trust basically investing in the future of that game into the late game, and it paid off where GuMiho was trying to come in there and punt Trust into game 3 right away.
Generally, that is a good way to play PBT, I think, unless you're against Maru. Because Maru seems to be the only guy that can really bring the game super long. You know, always kind of nail his upgrades and continue to tech up and continue to expand. A lot of these other Terrans just kind of choose a time in the game and try to end it. Look at this. He is so on top of getting rid of this gas, which is causing him all sorts of lost mining time and everything. I'm sorry, did he make a sentry? Because we see the Stalker and we see the Twilight.
I wasn't looking, actually. Let's see if we spot one inside the base.
What is that probe doing up top? Yeah, I don't think he has one. Not sure, though, yet.
Do you think he's going to go for that blink rush again?
Well, I want to know what this probe is doing. I think it's blink, yeah. I mean, it's really weird if you do anything other than blink with such an early Twilight.
Yeah.
Anything other than blink with such an early Twilight is,
but I mean,
super risky.
But I'm not saying just go for blink. We see that. I mean, is he going to actually rush up and try to blink on top of the tanks like he did when he won in their first best of 3?
It's a pretty good map for being aggressive with blink. There's a gigantic main base with a lot of area that you can blink in. Yeah, I mean, I could see him doing this, especially with that pylon up there. Like, what are you planning on placing up there? It doesn't seem like that's the appropriate time for a tech building, so it might just be lots of gateways. It's a real possibility. Just try to break him down. Yeah, there you go. All right.
Nice.
Well, Trust, you know what? I think that this is a really good play for him. This is so decisive. He's really just like, okay, we're going to try to kill you, GuMiho. That's it. He slowed him down already with the offensive gas. GuMiho's scouting was reduced because he kept the Reaper for so long, back at home killing the gas. And now he's just walking out with Stalkers, which has happened every game so far, but it's never been this. It has never been this.
Yeah, this is going to hit GuMiho very fast and very hard. The thing is that if Trust doesn't do an incredible amount of damage, it's kind of hard for Protoss to transition out of this, right? A lot of infrastructure invested adjacent to the main base of GuMiho. But let's see how ready he is. Even though the build is slightly different and the timing's different, the concept is still the same. You're trying to barrel into their base with blink and overrun them. A Reaper coming through here does get the opportunity to scout the lack of gateways, which should telegraph to Trust that there are hidden gateways somewhere else. Now,
maybe. Like, well, 3 is normal, right? So, well, now he knows.
Here we go.
Now he knows that bunker only has 1 Marine in it, so just walks by, blinks up on top of that tank. Uh-oh, GuMiho in some trouble. The Raven falling immediately as well. Another tank pops out. Blink forward here, going to pick off that Cyclone. Not too many Stalkers left over, though.
Yeah, 4 Stalkers remaining, 1 very low on HP. That one is picked off. The Marine's going to go ahead and try to corner this, but they'll be able to blink out pretty easily as the HP gets low enough. Was that enough damage, though? You traded in quite a high number of Stalkers, but look at this. He can rinse and repeat.
Yeah, he's not done until the game's done. Like, he has to keep going. There's no real great transition here until you do a ton of damage. Now, GuMiho is actually going to have Cloak and Banshee. Oh, my God, that's really good.
Okay, he's going to try to overwhelm the bunker. All right, he's going to go for the 2 tanks here.
Yeah, this seemed a little bit, like, slow to make this decision. Like, he attacked the bunker a few times and then went for the blink.
I don't know about this, guys.
Yeah, this isn't working right now. And
keep
here
in
comes
mind,
this Banshee.
There's a Widow Mine that's going to be over there. That should be taking out workers, right? Unless that was killed off. There's going to be a Banshee killing workers, which means the units that are going to be coming in every round are going to get lower and lower and lower.
Yeah, this Banshee will kill everything, even if he goes home.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I almost forgot about Cloak there. Yeah.
Yeah, you really needed shield batteries ready, but I mean that's hard to do. Wow.
GuMiho survives.
Super relieved.
A very well prepared Trust. And it looks like we won't have another one of our Terran Legends knocked out, at least for now. GuMiho survives. He goes to the round of 16, but Trust, man, he looked really strong today. I am really impressed with his play. And obviously he's disappointed that he lost, but you know what? I think he can come back in Season 3 and maybe actually move on to the round of 16 if he keeps it up.
Well, yeah, he definitely did play well today. I think even that last build order, I think that was a really reasonable thing to try. Didn't end up working out, but he did a very sharp build after doing much the same in previous games. And That at least shows some planning, whereas before it just seemed like he was playing ladder.
We're going to get this interview translated and see how GuMiho's feeling.
Alright, following up the Super Tournament, can we expect a lot from GuMiho, who's the runner of this group and made it to the round of 16?
최종전 정말 긴장감이 넘쳤습니다.
That was a very tense deciders match. How do you feel about your victory?
사실 처음에 2대0으로 지고 나서
So initially when I lost
되게 좀
0-2
압도적으로 졌잖아요. 그래서
in a very dominant fashion, so I thought I wasn't going to make it out of the group tonight. However, I'm relieved that I did, and I'll make sure that I'm going to adjust my unit maneuvers to evade more of the side storms.
당하진 않았습니다. 최종전에
Well,
임할
you
때
didn't fall twice to the
어떻게
same opponent.
극복해야겠다. 얻으신 답은 무엇이었나요?
What were some of the thoughts you had in order to overcome trust? No, I would try to finish the game before the side storm was completed because I wasn't able to scatter my units very well.
웬만하면 이길 것이라고 생각했는데 생각보다 좀 컨트롤이 너무 안 돼가지고.
And because due to the lack of my microcontrol, the games actually went very hard, and because my overall game plan was to finish it before at a timing.
고병재 선수도 업그레이드를 따라가려고
No,
하기보다는
instead of following the upgrades from the double forge-based Protoss, you try to make a lot of timing-based attacks, which really didn't work out on New Repugnancy. What are your comments about it? No, when I fought at the ramp, I really screwed up big time. And because it's very hard for Terrans to catch up with the upgrades for 2-2 because Protoss's upgrades are already done by then. I think the biggest factor of my loss is due to my lack of proper microcontrol.
대처하는 가장 좋은 방법이란 일단 1-2업 타이밍을 노리는 것이
So
가장 베스트라고
using the 1-1
생각하시는
timing
거예요?
attack is the best against double forge-based Protoss before they hit 2-2 upgrades. And that's how usually you drain out the manas of the sentries and the High Templars, and then you keep pressuring the Protoss, and that's how you usually win. It's the winning equation. However, my micro just didn't live up to my standards, so I couldn't do it. And on the final set, I was able to just pick up my opponent's all-in build and win.
기세를 생각하면
Well, eventually you made it, and
상당히 아쉬움이 많이 남으셨을 것 같아요.
it may be regrettable that
바로 얼마
due to your loss in the finals of the Super Tournament, how do you feel about it?
그러니까 이성적으로 그렇게 생각을 하긴 했는데
No, objectively, I've been keep thinking that finishing first runner-up is a very good feat. However, emotionally, it's not an easy task to maintain that. So my PVT kind of got became shaky since then. So I thought I was going to get knocked out. I have the possibility to get knocked out, especially when I saw Maru get knocked out last night. So for this season, I want to go as high as possible. Hopefully, win the whole thing. No, you received a lot of the players' taunts and mockeries, and then form group of death all the time. What are your plans this time? No, besides Group A, every other group has always been very arduous in every season of the GSL. So. So in that regards, it doesn't really matter who I pick, but I'll try to pick an as affordable opponent as possible. Any last words to your fans?
이번 시즌 2 꼭 잘해가지고 블리즈컨
I make sure I'll do really well in this season and hopefully make it to the BlizzCon. So thank you for your support.
Excellent. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
최종 정리까지 확인해 보겠습니다.
Okay. Quick day, right?
Yeah, a little bit quick. But these are our results. GuMiho makes it through. Yeah. GuMiho makes it through, and I really thought he was going to make it through no matter what. But I tell you, it was actually pretty close there at the end. Trust put up a very good fight. And overall, 3-2 GuMiho, but won't advance.
Kind of sad to see Zest just get crushed in this group, but I don't know, man. Impact looking very good. Just tears through this.
I enjoy the rise of Impact.
Yeah, me too. Tomorrow we're going to be back, same time as always, 6:30 p.m. KST. We'll have Classic, True, Solar, and Hurricane to cast for you.
So no one's wearing like a really terrible jacket, but the hoodie that Solar's wearing is pretty bad, so maybe he's going out in last place.
Undershirt that Hurricane is wearing, never wear that, even if it matches the USA.
Oh no, I think Hurricane looks the coolest out of all of them.
Yeah, and that's why you got to keep me around Artosis, just in case.
Oh, he looks the coolest, man. That's a USA shirt, too.
No,
so,
by
like,
far, Classic looks the best in this.
Classic looks the best?
He looks by far the best. You're crazy.
In that rain tarp? He looks the best in that rain tarp?
I love that rain tarp.
That the other 3 pro gamers could fit in that shirt with him right now.
He looks like
he looks the best?
He's ready to play in a grunge band. Absolutely.
Okay. I guess
I'll
I just
stand
don't
my
know
ground
fashion.
on this one.
I guess I just don't know fashion.
Okay. You are forgiven, Artosis.
Wear shirts way too big for yourself.
Sometimes you got to do it.
That's actually oftentimes what I'm dressed in on the show.
Normally, Artosis comes here wearing a parachute. Guys, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are here in the studio, hang on to your ticket. We have a giveaway at the end of the show. We got a lot of cool stuff. I think photo albums, mouse pads.
You'll have to just wait and see.
TVs, laptops. No, I don't know exactly what it is.
You're going to weigh a Lamborghini tonight.
That's right. Someone's going to win a car. That's when we run out of here after we said that. And I guess that's all the time we have. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. KST. We love you. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. Bye-bye.
This is my world.
Let's make it count. I must practice stories. Next, GSL Season 2. Renaissance.